Hello everyone, hope you're having a nice Tuesday. So today we're going to be looking at two different things, all right? One would be Solana Pay and the other would be the Solana Riptide Hackathon, all right? So let's jump right in. And before we go ahead, like just to make everything clear, all the links are going to be in the description of the video as usual. And yeah, we'll be sharing our thoughts as usual, all right? So let's jump right in. So what is Solana Pay? We use all these different services at point of sales like Google Pay, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, and now we have like fintech options like Revolut, and we have also like crypto options like crypto.com, which is a CFI like centralized finance. But all these services that we use today currently, they are centralized. Okay, Solana Pay, it's an alternative to this, and it's a decentralized, secure, it's an open source protocol which is built on top of Solana. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what they mentioned in the announcement, and then we're gonna just one by one give our thoughts on it. All right, so yeah, so introducing Solana Pay, a decentralized, secure, and open source payments protocol for the next generation of merchant payments. Okay, so what does this mean? Okay, let's read more. All right, so launching today, Solana Pay makes it easy for merchants worldwide to accept digital dollars like USDC and any other Solana SPL token for a fraction of a penny without any intermediaries. Okay, so basically what you know is, okay, it's an open source payments protocol between whom? A merchant and a customer. Okay, it could be a business, it could be a business owner, individual entrepreneur, and so on and so forth, and their customer. Okay, so anyone can use Solana Pay and integrate it to their business and start accepting payments without having any third party like their bank or like Visa and all of that stuff, right? It would be directly from their customer to their business. Okay, so and it would be all at they will utilize all the benefits of Solana like cheap cost and peer-to-peer, and decentralized, secure, open source, and all the transactions are out there, for people to audit. Like, it's very transparent, So, sometimes, when you go to a store, they don't give you the bill, or maybe they don't put it in their books. Okay, so in this case, like it's not correct, right? So I mean, theoretically not correct, but I mean, all those transactions, what happens through Solana Pay is going to be there out there, openly out there. So it's good for auditing and so on and so forth, and transparency purposes. Right, so and yeah, currently you can use USDC and you can use any other Solana SPL token. That means any other tokens which are launched on top of Solana, you can use those as well to make the payment. And most probably, like people will use something which is stable, like a stable coin like USDC, USDT, or like you have UXD and so on and so forth. So I mean, what does this mean? This will basically enhance the dollar even much more. Why? Because since people will start to use like USDC more, or like stable coins which are pegged to the dollar. I mean, this will make the dollar more relevant, so in a way it's going to sustain for a while until we make the transition to like distributed like payments network altogether. But we need a transition, and I think stablecoin is that sort of like a transition for daily payments and so on and so forth. But anyways, let's continue with what they have to say, and what did the specs mean. Okay, the Solana based specs lets merchant generate transaction request with relevant metadata. Users can approve this transaction via their mobile wallets or scan a custom generated QR code now supported in Phantom, Slope, and FTX app. So basically, of course, like so all these are like you must have used some of the QR codes. You must have scanned and paid previously online, or like anywhere. Even like all the crypto, like they have like a QR code, right? So I mean, it's basically the same thing, but it will just be on a device, like a point of sale system. Like as you see, like when you go to pay or something like that, they give you like a machine and you go scan their code. I'm going to show you an example, by the way, people doing this. So, anyways, and these are all going to be integrated with different wallets which Solana has. And I mean, even not just Solana. I mean, Solana is just the beginning. It will start, people will start building on this, and currently it's available on Phantom has an iOS app. They're soon going to launch an Android app as well. Slow Finance, which is a web wallet and a mobile wallet, and FTX app is nothing but Blockfolio, which is a user-friendly app like for the FTX main platform. All right, so main platform is for advanced traders, but FTX app is more like the retail side of things. All right, the retail play, I would say. So, anyways, let's see. Solana Pay enables the first direct connection between merchants and customers via a decentralized payment gateway. This is a new type of payment rail ready to build by anyone today, okay, allowing users to spend crypto without relying on a central entity. Like I mentioned, there's not going to be anyone in the middle, like a centralized entity. So it's a pure decentralized means of payments, and it's a gateway like that you can integrate in the POS, and you can make peer-to-peer payments, for to anyone. Like I can pay you, you can pay me, and vice versa, and anyone can use these services as long as they have a mobile wallet or something like that, because you need to scan the QR code or just enter. Scanning is much faster, right? So yeah, you get the point. So yeah, we discussed this. So and anyone like a dev can start building on top of this right now, because the code is live on GitHub, and of course, like they have not been, they announced it on Feb 1st, but they launched this they launched this on Feb 1st like officially, but of course they have been building it for probably a year or so, or maybe yeah, before. All right, so. Yeah, so accepting USDC and any other digital assets lets merchant access the benefit of the Solana ecosystem. Also, oh yeah, okay. So I mean, if people start using USDC or any other coin, they are open to like this whole new benefits what the Solana DeFi ecosystem brings, like generating yield and and all that DeFi options people can access directly through their wallet, right? So I mean, if Solana Pay, if people integrate Solana Pay, I mean, even the merchant can go ahead and they're exposed to this whole DeFi opportunities to earn much more yield if they want to. All right. So yeah, because stablecoins generally they pay out some interest and sort of like that, because you have a lot of stablecoins, you lend it out and you get some interest. Of course, there are risks. You should know that as usual, like DeFi, smart contract, operational security and all that stuff. But yeah, there are opportunities, and of course, this is it's in the infancy, it's just gonna keep growing, and it's good to see like Solana has already deployed this, and people are starting to use this. It's really great, because Solana, I would say this is one of the perfect use cases of Solana, because the cost is like fractions of a cent, not even a cent. It's like 0.000 something, some three or four zeros, and then but it depends on the network as well. But you won't even feel it, like even if it's high load on the network. All right, so there are a lot of benefits, and Solana is fast. If you have used Solana, you know so how fast the transactions confirm with the proof of history type of like consensus. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and there are companies who are building on it. Like for example, Circle Pay. Okay, Circle, as you know, like they are the founders, or they're the creators of like the stablecoin USDC, and of course they are building on it, and so can you. Okay, so anybody can build on it. All right, so like as I mentioned, people are going ahead and using Solana Pay right now. So we're gonna see like a few examples how people are doing this. I mean, of course, it's like I've explained you, like you need to have a POS, but we're just gonna see some some live videos where people actually do this. All right, so this person over here, I think they're building like MTN Pay, which is a payment, which is a POS system which accepts like Solana Pay, and they are also integrated into Square. Okay, so Square, as you know, it's a fintech solution or a CFI solution in Americas. I guess just in US, probably in here in Europe, it's not available yet. But anyways, they have built this like from using Solana Pay. They have within 48 hours from ideation to an MVP, like minimum viable product. Okay, so Solana Pay integrated with your Square point of sale. Okay, so this is integrated within the Square point of sale itself, and it's live in MTN DAO. And MTN DAO, as you can see, it's a hacker house where they're building. As you know, like there's a hackathon going on, which we will discuss in just a bit. And yeah, so these guys are building, so they're just showcasing this, and it's great that they're showcasing this to the public because I mean, of course, like people want to see what you're building, right? So it's really great. And yeah, you can also follow them what they're doing with MTN Pay. You can follow them, and yeah, let's watch the video anyways. What they're doing.
Hey, excuse me? Can I ask what you're doing?
Yeah, no problem. I'm just using this Mountain Pay point of sale system, which leverages Solana and US dollar coin so that we can buy things using our crypto right here on an iPad. So I'm just gonna select whatever I want, a beverage, say I'm gonna get some Coke Zero, select that, add it to cart. Now I'm gonna check out. Taxes included. And now I'm simply gonna use my Phantom wallet to scan the QR code, send the payment, hit send. It'll now confirm on point of sale system, and I'm ready to grab my Coke Zero.
Yeah, so this guy did it like really well, but of course, like these guys are building and they want to showcase what they're building, and as you have seen, like it's pretty straightforward. It's just like any other payment system that we are used to, in the centralized system. Like you go to a coffee shop or wherever, you just or shopping center, and you just buy, or maybe you purchase on Amazon. You can integrate this on e-commerce stores as well. I've seen like live some of the stores. I think the e-commerce ones are just available in the US, but yeah, so of course, like it'll be available everywhere because like it's an open source sort of a protocol, and it's a universal. It's a product for universal use. All right. So as you have seen, like these guys integrated with one of this, and that's how you can use it. And there are so many other people who have done this, like maybe you have seen them on Twitter or maybe on Reddit or somewhere else, or maybe you have just done it yourself. All right. So this person, he does it on this Bliss Coffee Cafe, and he pays it with USDC as well. So the same thing, just flip out your Phantom wallet and just go ahead and like, whatever is the amount here, 445, just go ahead and pay it. Just simple as that. All right. So, and we've seen like other people from the team as well, they have like gone ahead and like tried this themselves with different this is another coffee store which has integrated this, and Young mentions it's so easy, it's so smooth, and it's so fast. That is exactly why like like previously when I mean, back in the days, when I actually found out about Solana, like this was before even SBF started talking about it publicly, and it was very early days of Solana, back in the days like when there was a lot of testing going on, and it was just the DevNet, and you could just play around, and then they launched Serum. And when I used Solana, I realized this was one of the key things, and it's still today. It's like so easy, it's really smooth, and it's fast, than anything I've used previously. So yeah, and it's cost efficient, to do all the DeFi stuff that you do on the EVM. But of course, like no commentary on them. What EVM side they're doing, it's great. It's good for innovation, but Solana is on a different level, So that's all I'm trying to say. But yeah, so as you have seen, like it's pretty straightforward, all right? And if you are a developer, or if you know how to code or something like that, of course, go ahead and like, check out their GitHub. You just go to solanapay.com and you just go to their GitHub, and you can take a look at the code, and you can fork it and so on and so forth, and you can start using it. But if you want a guide, like, or something like that, a video how to go ahead and set up Solana Pay, and this guy has done a demo on it, and probably, some other people are going to be doing a video tutorial on this, just so keep an eye on that. And I would say just follow Chase, and you get all those updates. But anyways, if you want to go right now and know how to do this and set this up, set Solana Pay, go ahead and watch this video. This guy has done a really good job with this, and I think you can take it forward from there. All right. All right, so that's about Solana Pay, and of course, I do. I think you already understand the potential of this, and this is just the beginning. All right, so yeah, I'm looking forward to using Solana Pay wherever I purchase anything. Looking forward to use my USDC, using Phantom Wallet whenever Phantom launches like their Android app, which is probably going to be soon, and there's Glow too, who's coming out with an app with a mobile wallet, so that's going to be great. But anyways, if you want to take part in, like, building on Solana and so on and so forth, or maybe just to connect with like the people and the builders on Solana, just go ahead and they've been having this Solana Riptide. It's a global hackathon, and it's going from like Feb 2 to March 17. They're going to go visit different cities across the world, like Dubai, Singapore, in the US, a few thing. But you can read about it, like, everything you can read about all of them, who are their sponsors. Like, as you can see, payments are sponsored by Visa. Why Visa? Of course, and these announcements went together when Solana Pay was launched. This Solana Hackathon also was initiated. All right, so. And why Visa is sponsoring like payments is something to think about. They want to build on top of Solana Pay, of course, and they want to grow that because Visa sees that this is the future. I mean, Web3 is the future, so they want to be a part of this, and that's why they're sponsoring this. And Jump Crypto, as you know, they are the ones who reimbursed the 120K wrapped Ethereum on Wormhole when Wormhole was exploited a few days ago, last week. But anyways, they are sponsoring DeFi, and they come from the traditional finance side of things, all right? So they have a lot of experience with like high frequency trading, and of course, they understand DeFi and crypto and trading and all that stuff. So they're sponsoring DeFi and Web3. Who's sponsoring Web3? As you know, Google just recently announced that the CEO of Google just recently announced they're going to start building products on using blockchain and Web3 sort of Web3 technologies, like public Web3 technologies. And of course, they're going to do it for their business, but of course, they're going to leverage some public network, and they're going to customize it according to their needs and whatever service they want to offer. And for sure, like Google has like a perfect use case to use, like, a public blockchain, a fast public blockchain, like for example, like say Solana, for their Google Ads platform, because Google Ads, everything is like an event, and it's the fundamental of Google Ads is click. If someone clicks, that's when everything starts. That's when Google generates revenue, or maybe the people who are advertising, they generate revenue. So it all starts from that fundamental event of clicks. So that's why, like, Google can, because all these are events, right? So this can be recorded on the blockchain as well. But the thing is, you just need a faster and a much more and a cost efficient blockchain, which Solana is, by the way. So you can build all those types of services, and it's not limited just to like Google Ads or something. I'm just giving an example, and probably maybe Google already thought about this, but I've been following Google, and they have been into Web3 like a long time back. They're also in the council of Hedera Hashgraph. So Hedera Hashgraph, they're in the council, so they're in the governing council. So yeah, and Hedera Hashgraph also is one of the perfect technologies to deploy the Google Ads. Just bring that whole centralized system and make it much more transparent. So people using those platforms can actually understand, hey, where did I click? And it's much more. it will solve a lot of issues, privacy, and I mean even I would say like bots and like spams and all of that stuff. It's going to be taken care of if they use like distributed ledger technologies or blockchains, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, gaming side of things is going to be sponsored by like Samsung and TSM FTX. As you know, FTX acquired like TSM last year or maybe the year before. But anyways, these guys and DAOs, of course, you have Mango, one of the most prominent DAOs, and Monkey DAO, it's got a they're on a different level altogether. But anyways, these are the key niches that this hackathon is going to be focusing on. And of course, you can go ahead and build and I mean get in touch with the people. And of course, the total prize, as I mentioned over here, it's over like 5 million, as you see. And yeah, I mean, you can meet person in real life because they have the hacker houses, like I mentioned, in different things. You can see like all the events where they're happening, So Dubai, Singapore, Moscow, Hong Kong, Prague, and where do you have Seattle? You have where else? LA. So yeah, you have almost in major cities across the world, So and yeah, so just go ahead and probably if you're a developer, I think you already know this, but if you haven't, just go ahead and register and start building on this. Even if you're like a team of one person, just start building and showcasing them. You got time until like March 17, which is the last date of submission, I guess. And yeah, I mean. It's always like Solana Hackathon, trust me, like I mean, I don't have the numbers right now, but the previous hackathon, it's always been exponential, exponential growth of number of people who are registering and the number of projects or the products which come out of that, like number of applications which come out of that has also been exponentially growing, and even the dev ecosystem has been growing, so there's no question that this is going to be huge, just like the wave, so yeah, of course, like this is not like something hopium. Let's see what they build, but I see a lot of projects who are actually going ahead and like speaking about their project, like I mentioned over here, like this guy, as you've seen, like this person they are like building Mountain Pay, which is a POS which accepts like Solana integrated Square. So these guys are like these guys are building, so and also Soluna, which we are going to discuss. But anyways, so here's one of the tips from like Solana Labs employee themselves. He's, as you know, Chase. He's amazing guy. He's a really funny guy, but of course he's very knowledgeable as well. And he's the dev relations of Solana Labs. And yeah, and this tip is pretty straightforward. And I think if you're a dev and if you're building on Solana, you should just come out and speak about a project. Like at least create a Twitter account, create a like a Medium account, start writing about it. Or if not, if you feel like, hey, just doing videos and explaining a product by sharing your screen is much more useful, which I think is much more useful because it's much more sticky, than tweets, or maybe articles. You have a platform like a YouTube platform, spin up a YouTube platform and just start showcasing what you build, or maybe in real life, how they're doing, and create a Twitter account because people on Twitter, they're very active and they're going to give you feedback, and those feedback are very valuable, and so you would know how to actually go ahead and create actually a successful product, So yeah, so do all of that good jazz, and I hope you build something and hit me up. Like if you build something, just tag me or something, and I can just for me to be updated what you're building on. Okay, so yeah, I hope I covered all of those points. But anyways, just to look at some of the growth stats, okay, of course, like this doesn't define like it's successful, but anyways, what we have seen like in Solana Pay, like within 48 48 hours after Solana Pay was launched, there were 200, and this is from the head of comms of Solana Labs, so 200 merchants reached out to them, and there was like 70 forks on GitHub. That means devs are like, forking the code and they're starting to build on this. And there was like 413 stars on GitHub. And this is still like, it's just getting started. But let's see what's it today. This was like Feb 3rd. What's it today? If you go to the code repo of Solana Pay, just go to solanapay.com, and you can just click on GitHub and you will get to this page. And you can see right now it's like 636. 48 hours after, there was like 413. So that's approximately like, 200 stars more, just in another 4 days, So yeah, and you see 95 forks, as you see 70 forks over here. And yeah, this is just the beginning, So, and as you can see from the practical applications, these are really good, and it's being supported by like, the whole ecosystem, FTX, of course, like Phantom, Circle, Google. They're all planning to build on these sort of technologies, which are going to actually, which are not like, games or something like that. This is actual applications, which you can, actual protocols where you can actually start building application, and it can be used in real life. That's the most important thing about Web3, right? Like, you're providing value not just for the DeFi ecosystem, not just for the Web3 ecosystem, but for the real world, for the real person to use. People wouldn't need to know anything about like how to what to do. If you just show them, hey, you have Solana Pay now, just go install Phantom Wallet, go, you download it from, I don't know, iOS store, or Apple Store, or like, Google Store, Google Play, and you start using it on different shops. And that's it, and yeah, and if you're a developer, there's massive opportunities, because as you have seen, like Riptide, so go ahead and take part in that if you're a developer. And if you're a user, if you're just ecosystem fan, just go ahead and like, cheer these projects, like the new projects will come up, of course, if you give them feedback. And yeah, so yeah, welcome to the digital commerce revolution. Everything is DeFi. All roads leads to DeFi. Metaverse is DeFi on the base layer. DeFi is DeFi. So social finance is DeFi. Okay, so, and GameFi is DeFi in the core layer. So everything is DeFi. So start thinking like that. DeFi is much more than like, all these yield farming and all. These are core things. Okay, fine. There was a lot of innovation, but as we know, these are not sustainable. As we explained previously in our previous videos, they need to come up with like better alternatives or better collaborations between different blockchains and integrate like cross-chain and multi-chain, which is of course going to happen. But anyways, it's much more than that. So open up to all these real life use cases and start building. If you're a builder, start using if you're a user. And yeah, of course, I don't want to sound like a broken record. Everything, open source protocol, it's still in the early days, as you have seen, like, Wormhole exploited a few days ago, and Jump Crypto, hats off to them, 120K wrapped Ethereum, no questions asked. They just went ahead and back. Of course, you do have to understand, like, Jump Crypto is one of the core contributors to Wormhole, okay, and I've been following Wormhole for a long time. They're like one of the OG projects. But when Wormhole launched, there was no like Anchor framework or Solteria, so all these auditing tools which would have helped Wormhole to not be exploited, because if you use those frameworks, those things are already checked, and those sort of exploits would have been avoided. So there are a lot of things, if you can go ahead and read the incident report and so on and so forth. But anyways, I'm telling you from my experience, like Wormhole, they were just built directly using Rust, and like, using the core Solana codes and no framework. So I guess in the future they're going to implement or maybe integrate all these frameworks, and make a secure make it much more secure. But of course, like it's software, software got bugs, so you got to understand that. And this is so new. There are risks, but there's no risk in building, and there's no risk in using small amounts of fun of your capital, you know just to experiment. So there's no risk on that. So yeah, so that's all I want to say. Hope you learned something. Hope you are excited about Solana Pay and ready to use when it comes alive. Products come alive and POS systems come alive. And yeah, I'll see you when I see you guys. Thank you. Have a nice day and a week ahead. All right. Bye now.